Hello guys and welcome to the video. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive into these Cassandras and every single one of them, talking about them, where they could potentially be good at, whether they're good for you as a new or an older player, just all that type of stuff, possibly even how I would rune them, and maybe even interesting little things I might try out in the future with these units if I can get my hands on them. But the Cassandra. So let's start off with just the fire one, right? So the fire one, by the way, I will not be pointing out really any stats unless I think that they're like exceptional, at the very least exceptional compared to the other variants of this unit. So let's start off with this fire Cassandra, and we'll go through the skills and then we'll point out some interesting things, right? First skill, by the way, when I refer to skills, I will be referring to them as if they're already fully skilled up. So skill 1, attacks the enemy to decrease the attack bar by 30% with a 75% chance. Skill 2, Hero Strike, attacks the enemy to inflict damage that ignores the enemy's defense, and decreases the skill cooldown time of this skill by 1 turn if the enemy gets defeated by the skill every 3 turns. You can do this every 3 turns, but if the enemy gets defeated, it becomes every 2 turns. And then, last but not least, Ares' Last Breath, grants invincible for 1 turn, which I feel like they should have just said invincibility. Grants invincibility for 1 turn and life drain for 2 turns on yourself when you're inflicted with fatal damage every 5 turns. This is automatic. Now, obviously the most interesting part about this girl's kit is her passive. I mean, because she shares these 2 first skills with a couple of these other Cassandras, but this one right here, at first I was like, this isn't great. I mean, I still look at it and I'm like, there could be something different. But I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy, but it's not awful. It's kind of like bland. She feels like lackluster. It feels like even though she's new, she already feels like an old unit, right? I don't know if I'm making sense. But it's just like, so when she gets hit with an attack that's supposed to kill her, she doesn't die, but she gets invincibility and then life drain. So invincibility for 1 turn, which essentially I'm assuming is, hey, by the time she gets her next turn, it wears off. So she cannot die for the rest of that turn unless you strip it off of her. And then life drain for 2 turns. So she should be able to heal back up, right? Now, just off, without talking about how this can be improved, I have an idea. Obviously, you would build her like attack, crit damage, attack, or whatever. I'm sure that's how a lot of people, or speed, crit damage, attack, crit damage, attack. Yeah, this is how I would have seen a lot of people building her. I want to try it, just for the sake of it. I know it's probably not the best thing, but how would she be like on a violent wheel set, or a triple revenge or violent revenge or something like that? And just like bruiserish, almost like how you would almost like build like a Vanessa, or like just like she has attack but she also has HP, so like tanky, like bruiser, if you get what I mean. Because I'm probably not making any sense. It's just, she could still do decent damage on her skill 2, but if you were to build her tanky, like speed HP, or speed HP defense, or whatever whatever, and then just like give her a bit of attack in the subs, it's like she could still do decent damage with this one, and then be an annoying monster, right? But I don't know why I was thinking that, but I'd like to test that. I wonder like if anyone knows what I'm trying to say, right? Because it's just, I feel like the life drain is stupid. If you're gonna build her like super high damage, at the best, I mean, if you were building her damage, like attack, crit damage, attack, it's just like, the only part that you're really getting from this is invincibility. Because the life drain, like, while yes, it will prolong your turn by a couple turns, it's just like, I feel like if the battle becomes long term, it's like she starts to become a struggle unit, you know? Like, hey, you gotta wait like 5 turns for this to be a thing that occurs again. But if she's like a tanky unit that's annoying and it's hard to kill, then, then maybe it's like she becomes a little bit more crazy. And again, skill 2 can still do a decent amount of damage. But it's just theories. I will test that in the future. If I can get this Fire Cassandra, or at least the Summoner's War variant that comes out eventually, I would like to test it. I don't think that's a good build, but I would like to test it so I could show you guys what I mean. But, is she good? That was my other phone. That was my actual cell phone. That just fell if you heard that, by the way. But, how is she good, right? I think she is okay. She's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10, right? I think she's a good nuker. She can nuke pretty well. And it's just like she's not susceptible to just being killed before she can do anything, because she'll gain invincibility. So she'll at the very least gain 1 turn. At the very least she gains 1 turn, unless the enemy throws like a stun on her or something like that, or sleeps her or something. But it's just like she is almost like a reliable tank, right? Or not a reliable tank, a reliable like nuke. Where it's like, well, some nukes, like nuke units that you bring, it's like if the enemy outspeeds you and they kill your nuke straight up, out the way, they get it out the way before you can do anything. It's like it just ruins your whole entire gosh, I'm struggling with English. It just ruins your whole entire attempt. But with her, it's like at the very least she's surviving until she at least gets 1 turn, which you could then come in and do this. The way you can improve her, though, the way she can become better is, I realize that in this passive, you cannot decrease the cooldown times, because that would be broken. You even so much as reduce this to like every 4 turns she's getting this. I feel like it becomes super annoying. And you can't increase the invincibility for 2 turns, because then she can just go off and do crazy crap. I feel like it becomes broken. So instead of just like changing what's already there, why not add something? I feel like, just hear me out, right? Grants invincibility for 1 turn and life drain for 2 turns on yourself when you're inflicted with fatal damage, and increases her attack bar all the way, right? So she immediately gets her turn if she's killed. That's not, I know some people are like, oh no, that's stupid. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking all day. Like, I was trying to find a way to make this passive seem better. Like, if by the time she receives fatal damage, it fills up her attack bar all the way and allows her to attack, that'd be so much better. But then again, the invincibility would wear off immediately, wouldn't it? Then I would say increase invincibility to 2 turns, and then give her the attack bar increase. That, or, I don't know, reduce the attack bar of the next enemy. I don't know. I don't know how you can improve her, but I feel like she does need a little bit of improvement. Let's move on to the next unit, because this video is going to be long if I just stick on this unit. Oh, this Cassandra is potentially one of the best Cassandras. I'll be honest. I'll be straight up honest. I think she's crazy. I want her so bad. Leader skill, accuracy lead. First skill is the same as the other ones. Second skill is decreases the defense of all enemies for 2 turns with an 80% chance every 3 turns. AoE defense break with an 80% chance. That is good accuracy. I like that. And then her last skill, which is like the fucking cream of the crop, right? Attacks the enemy 3 times to leave a branding effect for 3 turns each. Additionally, the attack always lands as a critical hit and deals 100% increased damage if the attribute is wind every 3 turns. Excuse me? What? So, she seems like a reliable, like, damage support unit. You could, theoretically, you could build her support and she'd be a good support. You could build her damage and she'd be pretty good at damage. But it's just like, look at this. Attacks the enemy 3 times to leave a branding effect. You could use this in PvE in, like, dragons, right? She has a defense break. She has a branding. You could use this in, I'm assuming, RTA. You can use this in places like Guild Wars and Siege and all that. You could use this in TOA. It's like the fact that she has usability in quite a few spots. I like that shit. So, leaves a branding effect for 3 turns. Additionally, the attack always lands as a critical hit. Always lands as a crit. And deals 100% increased damage to wind attribute monsters. I don't know if you guys notice, but she's water, so she's able to mess up water units. Obviously, she's gonna leave branding, defense breaking, and attack quite a few times and deal good damage. Obviously, she's gonna mess up fire units, but the unit that she's gonna mess up the most is the unit is of the attribute that she should be weakest to. So she can kill wind units, because not only is she guaranteed to crit on them, but she's dealing 100% increased damage. Like, that is insane. Like, I want her. If you get this unit, she is the unit you're gonna skill up. If you got this Water Cassandra day 1 of this event, of this collaboration, skill her up. Because she's the unit to skill up. I'll be honest. She is the #1 Nat 4 collab monster to me. Other people might say the Dark Ezio. Some other people might say, like, a different unit. I say this unit. This unit, I believe, is the best Nat 4 collab monster out there. But, yeah, no. You could theoretically build her either way. Yeah, so let's look at the reviews. People should read slower. It says skill 3 crits always, not just wind. What? No, it is not always. It is if the monster is wind, not just wind. It is just wind. Okay. That review is kind of iffy because read slower. Like you said, read slower. Additionally, the attack always lands as a critical hit and deals 100% increased damage if the target's attribute is wind. Though I understand how you might have read a little bit too fast. It's odd. She's best on violent roots. Use second skill, proc another turn, and then exactly. Best my foot. What do you mean best your foot? Because you speed, HP resistance. What are you talking about? Best build here. He's gonna build her on like 1-star roads. Attack crit damage. HP. Why? I mean, I guess. Maybe. Like Galleon, but better. No, I'm probably not. I mean, maybe. No. Anyways, move on to the next unit. I think she's good. Her kit is like a 10 out of 10. Or not 10 out of 10, but like 8 to 9 out of 10 for me. Wind Cassandra. Compared to her sister, only the defense is better, by the way. Critical rate lead, which is cool, whatever. Same first 2 skills as the fire one. Third skill is attacks all enemies to reset their attack bar and increase the chance of landing a glancing hit for 2 turns every 4 turns. This, at first, I was like, the Wind Cassandra was also like, it's like, meh, it's like I'm asleep, right? I'm sleeping, like she's boring. But I'm thinking about the reset attack bar. So you enter in the fight, right? I don't know. You bring your Julie, you bring whatever your AOE strip. You bring your Water Bayek, right? Your new Water Bayek that... Does Water Bayek? Yeah, Water Bayek strips. And then you enter with this. Attacks all enemies to reset their attack bar and increase the chance of landing and glancing it for 2 turns. And you could build her like Despair, right? And you could build her Despair, Speed, Crit Damage, Attack, or whatever. Despair Blade, or... I don't know, if you just want it to be quirky. If you want it to be quirky like that. I kind of like it. I think she needs more. I don't know how, though. What throws me off is that it's like her kit doesn't match. I don't know if anyone knows what I mean, but it's just like the second skills of a lot of these units, like this, is the ignore defense, and then it's just basically the nuking second skill. And then you have such a support-like third skill. The way I think she can be improved, or, I mean, they're not going to do this, but she would have been better if she had, like, the Water Cassandra second skill, where she decreases defense, AoE defense decrease, and then enters into the, and then there's this. If that would have been the case, I feel like she would have been so much better. But, attacks all enemies to reset their attack bar. So it's like a guaranteed reset attack bar, right? And increase the chance of landing a glancing hit for 2 turns every 4 turns. This could work. She could work. I mean, the idea that she could be a support unit and still deal a good amount of damage, I think that's actually, I guess so, this is kind of like a blessing as well. Because a lot of the time, it's like we build teams, and we need so much out of those things. We need a strip, we need a buffer, we need a healer, we need a strip. Or I already said strip. But we need all these things, and then we end up having to leave out either a damage dealer, or it's like, hey, we need to give up one of these units for a damage dealer. But it's just like, hey, you know what? She can reset attack bar. So she has CC, places glancing, build her on despair. She could potentially stun, and she has damage. Right? So it's like, it's interesting to me. I would like to see someone use her on a despair blade set, or a despair will, whatever, with speed, crit damage, attack, or speed, crit damage, HP. I don't know how tanky you want to go, but with damage, but also with support like tendencies, you know? Okay, see, so despair will, like I said. Yeah, okay, see, it's like this guy gets it, right? I mean, nice. Hold up. She ain't playing games, bro. Attack, crit damage, attack. Bro, what is it? Ugh, what is that crit rate? Ugh. Bro's got negative crit rate. Man, he is glancing half the fucking time, ain't he? Joking. I'm messing with him. My runes. This is a baby account right here that we're on, so it's like, it's not like I'm any better. God dang it, man. It's hard. Some of these units it's just so confusing when you look at them. So, again, my opinion is, if this skill 2 was the AoE defense break that the Water Cassandra has and the Light Cassandra has, I think I would love her so much more. But the skill 2 and skill 3 combination has potential, because, again, she could be a support unit, but also do damage. I would also like to test this unit as well. I would like to see what this unit is like on like a Thrawn build, right? Like speed, HP, attack. Like, I know she wouldn't do a lot of damage. I know she wouldn't do nuking damage, but it would be damage nonetheless. Let's move on to the next unit. Compared to the Water Cassandra, she has higher attack, worst HP, even though she's a support, about the same speed. So, same 2 first skills as the Water Cassandra, but the third skill is attacks all enemies to stun for 2 turns with a 50% chance every 4 turns. I have her now, by the way. I summoned her earlier today. So, with her, I think she is good, but, I don't necessarily like her skill 3. It has potential. I think the concepts itself is good. Attack bar decrease, AoE defense break, and then stun. But the problem here is that the stun rate is low. If you want to make this unit better, either make this a multi-hit or increase the accuracy. You do that, she's better. Like, way better. Because the idea is that you have to skill her up almost completely. And then maybe her... And then her accuracy gets to 50%. Right? So it's like, you're clearly bringing her as a support. Defense, break, stun. What is that joke? 0 accuracy. Why? Yeah, so... I don't think she needs a speed leader skill. So someone says, add a buff on her second skill. She doesn't need a buff on her second skill. I mean, it would be nice. It would definitely be nice. And then strip on a skill 3. Y'all just want crazy units for no reason. A strip on skill 3 would still not make this better. I mean, because a strip would be like with the percent chance too. No. This skill, the second skill's decent as it is, I think. Maybe you could add attack bar reduction, but I don't think the skill 2 is the problem. I think the skill 3 is the problem. Skill 3 is the problem. That, or it's like skill 2 can have a strip. If you're gonna put the strip on skill 2. Have her strip into a defense break. But again, I just think in general like skill 2 is fine. It's fine as it is. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. Attacks all enemies as stunned for 2 turns with a 30% chance. It becomes 50% chance when fully upgraded. There are better stun units. There are units that stun at a much more successful rate. You have Julie, or sorry, Clara. I've been calling her Julie this entire time. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of probably the water puree or something. Attacks all enemies 3 times with a spinning circle, each having a 30% chance to remove one beneficial effect, and it strips into a stun. And she increases attack speed for 2 turns when she's at full HP. So it's like she's a better stun in a way. The other unit I'm thinking of is Julian. Attacks all enemies 3 times. And then he has the same 50% chance every 4 turns. But it's a stun for 1 turn. But it's a multi-hit. So the thing is, when you get a unit like this that has like a stun, especially on skill 3, and it has a low chance, you could increase the chances of you stunning a unit by running Despair on her. So it's like the Despair runes get that little dice roll in the system to stun, and then her skill gets a chance to stun. So she's more likely to stun, but it's just like the accuracy by default is so low. If it's gonna be a 1-hit stun, it needs to have better accuracy. Like, make this by default 50% chance, and then you can increase it to 70% chance. That would make the skill decent. Increase the accuracy on skill 3 and she becomes better, in my opinion. HP lead, I don't really care. Moving on. The Dark Cassandra. The Dark Cassandra has the speed lead. I like. Me likey. Same first 2 skills as the Wind and Fire Cassandra. Skill 3 I like a lot. Oh my gosh. This is good. I really like it. I mean, there's potentially ways to make her better. If you wanted to. If you wanted to complain about making her better, I'd say like throw like crit rate on it. That or like attack speed. But that or increase the attack bar by like 50% or something like that. That would make this crazy, and I would love the fuck out of this unit. But I already like her. She's already good. I think she's pretty decent. She could be better. But that's what I want to make clear about all these units, is that they could be better for sure. But I kind of like this Dark Cassandra. Endure and attack power increase effect on all allies for 2 turns every 4 turns. I like it a lot. Plus attack speed lead. There's going to be a lot of usage for her. How to use. If you don't know how to use her, then you shouldn't be using her. She's pretty good and hits hard. My first LD5, but in RTA, she's meh. Endure an attack buff without immunity will just get reset and CC'd. Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking about too, is that it could be stripped off, but if you get immunity, which you should be able to have like a Thrawn or a Riley, right? That puts immunity. Is it Riley that puts it? Whatever. One of the best support DPS combos. Yeah, that's what I... Can't spell Cassandra without ass. I can't tell if that's a compliment or an insult. Okay, so... theoretically, you could bring Riley. You could put her as the Dark Cassandra as a leader skill. Bring Riley, and then bring your other units like Cocky or Sweeky or whatever. I'm thinking of Cocky, right? I'm saying his name, right? Yeah, and bring like Cocky, and then another unit. I don't really care who you bring. No offense. But her, Riley, Cocky, and I don't know, the light is a light paladin a good choice? I don't really. Again, I don't care. Just bring whomever. Yeah, you could bring her, I guess. But yeah, it would be an annoying team. She can be a good defensive monster and maybe good RTA, maybe. But yeah, I don't want to get too, I don't want to do this for too long. I don't want to make this video long enough. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. In my opinion, the Water Cassandra is the best one. Then it's the Dark one. After that, I'd say the Wind one. then the fire, then the light. The light one needs an accuracy buff bad. But then after that, whatever. By the way, check this crap out. I am look at this crap. I've been trying to get Lucian all day, and I'm not getting him. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.